Assalamu alaikum, my dear students. Today my discussion topic is Law of Diminishing Marginal Utility. In chapter 2, while discussing utility, this law of diminishing marginal utility is very much well-known topic in explaining consumers' behavior. So, in explaining consumers' behavior, this law of diminishing marginal utility concept is given by German economist Gossen. Though Gaussian started this concept first, this law had been completed by Marshall. So this theory is basically named as Gaussian's first law. And Marshall said about that during the course of consumption, as more and more units of a commodity are used, every successive unit gives utility with a diminishing rate, provided other things remaining the same, although the total utility increases. So here, Marshall wanted to say that when we consume any product consecutively or successively one by one, then every next unit provide us less marginal utility, that is less satisfaction, though our total satisfaction increases from total consumption. Let us know the basic concept of this theory, remaining other things being constant. Here other things being constant means, here other things means like consumers income, consumers taste, time, weather, and all these things being constant, and these are kept constant not to put any, not to feel any impact on this, on to examine this, not to there should not be any impact of other things. That's why remaining other things being constant. In a particular time, if any person continues to consume same product again and again, then though the total utility for the product increases, marginal utility decreases gradually. From my previous video, you have come to know what is marginal utility, what is total utility, what is initial utility, that is already discussed. Uh, Here I am repeating it again, that marginal utility means the utility that we get from every unit of consumption. And total utility means the addition of all marginal utility from all the unit of consumption. That is the addition or sum of all marginal utility, we get total utility. So when we consume same product again and again, then our marginal utility decreases gradually, though total utility for the product increases, because this is addition. So the relation between per unit increase of consumption and gradual decrease of marginal utility is known as law of diminishing marginal utility in economics. So here you see the one thing that mentioned here, that person continues to consume same product. Okay, that means when a product that is same, every unit is same, like here is an apple, this is red apple, oh sorry, this is a red apple, a medium sized apple. If I take in the first unit of my consumption, then in the second unit of my consumption also, oh sorry, then my second unit of consumption also, uh, the consumer has to take the uh, same unit of product, that is the product should be homogeneous in every consumption, every unit of consumption product should be the homogeneous. So as the product is homogeneous, that is same type of product, so continuously we get less satisfaction as we are taking the same product uh, again and again. Successively, we are taking the same type of product, so that continuously our satisfaction or marginal utility gets lesser. So, like every theory, there are also some assumption of this law. That's number one, the consumer is rational. That is, consumer can think or behave rationally. A particular time is considered Income, choice, and taste of consumers remain unchanged. Cardinal measurement of utility is considered. In my previous video, I discussed on the type of the ways to measure utility. There were two ways to measure utility, that is cardinal and ordinal. Cardinal measurement means we can measure utility uh, by number, that is cardinally, and where to get that number. This is for every unit of consumption, what price consumers want to pay. By that price we can measure the utility. That means uh, the satisfaction the consumer think to get, the consumers ready to pay up to that level of satisfaction, so that by the price of the product the consumer wants to pay, from that price we can count or we can measure utility. So here the assumption is cardinal measurement of utility is considered. Then marginal utility of money is constant, that is a particular time is considered here, and particular in that particular time the money value will be the same, so that marginal utility of money is constant. And sometimes ago I repeated that marginal utility means the satisfaction that you get from every unit. So marginal utility of money means that from money we get the satisfaction that should be constant in that time. Then various units of the commodity will be homogeneous. The sometimes ago I have discussed that every unit should be the same. The commodity can be divided into various units and the unit of consumption is sufficient. That means if I take juice, then it should be a glass of juice. That means the consumption should be sufficient. If I take apple, it should be one apple, like that. So now we have come to know what is the basic concept of the law and what are the assumptions taken. Now let us discuss it by an example. Here we see there is an apple, that is when a consumer consume first unit of the apple, the consumer wants to pay 10 taka for one apple. So this is his initial utility, or you can say marginal utility. Initial utility, why? Because this is his first unit of consumption, that's why you can say it initial utility. And also, as this is the utility got from a particular uh, unit of consumption, that's why you can say it marginal utility also. So we know that utility, from my previous video I discussed there, that you know that the unit of measurement of utility is called util. So when a consumer wants to pay taka 10 for one apple, that means he gets 10 util of marginal utility from consuming the apple. Now, next, if he takes the second unit of apple, then he thinks that he cannot get the same satisfaction from the second apple. Now he wants to pay taka 8 for that. And here we see the total utility is 10 plus 8 equal to 18. And again in the third unit, that is if third apple the consumer takes, this time the consumer gets more less utility, that is more less satisfaction, so that this time he wants to pay taka 6. That means his marginal utility is decreasing continuously as more and more the same unit of product the consumer takes, his satisfaction gradually decreases. But here we see total utility increases because this total utility is the addition of the marginal utility. Here total utility 18, and when third unit is consumed, then the total utility is 18 plus 6, 24. So this is the concept of this utility. Now there is an example of the law with a table. Here we see that in the previous video of utility, there I discussed that marginal utility can be three types, that is positive, zero, and negative. And here in this table, we see that, in this marginal utility, we see that up to first 4 unit, marginal utility is positive. Then in the 5th unit, it becomes 0. That means the consumer does not get any utility. So that total utility becomes maximum. And after marginal utility becomes 0, when the consumer gets another unit of product, then another unit, then the consumer, then this commodity gives consumer discomfort, so that it is expressed by minus negative marginal utility, suppose -4. So let us start from the beginning. From the first unit, the consumer gets 20 util of marginal utility, and total utility also 20. Then from the second unit, he gets less marginal utility, that is 16. So total utility is 20 plus 16, 36. From the third unit of the same product, this time the consumer gets less utility, so that this is 10. So that 36 plus 10, 46. Now, in the consumption of the fourth unit of the same product, now he gets very less utility from this unit, and he wants to pay taka 2, that is marginal utility is 2 util. So this total utility is 46 plus 2, 48. Now again, if the consumer is given to consume another unit, then the consumer gets 0 utility, and in this time there is no increase of total utility. So here we can say when marginal utility is 0, total utility is maximum. Again, after when the consumer reaches to its maximum utility, that he is not getting any marginal utility from this unit, then if he is given another unit to consume, that is 6th unit, this time it doesn't give his any satisfaction. Moreover, it gives him discomfort, so that which is expressed by minus negative marginal utility. Suppose it is -4, then total utility start decreasing. Here you say 20, 36, 46, 48. Total utility is increasing. 48 to 48, there is no increase in total utility. That means total utility becomes maximum. And after that, total utility decreases. 48 to 44. So this is the main idea of this law. Now let us explain it graphically. Here we see that these two diagram here uh, that is related to each other. Here this is total utility curve, and this is marginal utility curve. And in the horizontal axis, unit of consumption is measured, and the same unit of consumption is measured in this diagram also in the horizontal axis. And in the vertical axis, total utility is measured, and here in the vertical axis, marginal utility is measured. And from this diagram, the relation between total utility and marginal utility is expressed very clearly. Here we see, as the increase in the unit of consumption, marginal utility is continuously decreasing. That's why marginal utility curve is downward sloping. And we know total utility is the addition or sum of marginal utility. So as this is addition, so the total utility is increasing with the increase of consumption of the units, but it is increasing at a decreasing rate as marginal utility decreasing. When marginal utility becomes 0, here it is 0, that time total utility becomes maximum. That means total utility cannot increase anymore. Then after 0 level, when another unit is consumed, then marginal utility become negative. Here it is, you see that it is -4. When it is negative, then total utility start decreasing. So in this way, we can say when marginal utility is maximum, when total utility is maximum, marginal utility is 0. When marginal utility is negative, total utility decreases. When marginal utility decreasing, total utilities increases at a decreasing rate. So this is actually the relation between total utility and marginal utility. So this is actually the human nature or human behavior about consumption. Now let us see some limitations or criticism. Like every theory or every law, there are some criticisms, which you can say limitations here also. Number one, constant assumption. In the assumption, we have seen that uh, consumers' income, taste, time, these are fixed. There's no change of this. So, but in reality, this is very hard to think these are constant. This is one criticism. Then, sorry. Then, unit of consumption. Uh, Here it is said that if a consumer consume products successively, then every next unit gives him less satisfaction. But if the unit of consumption is not uh, ideal, if it is small unit, then for the next unit of consumption, consumers' satisfaction will increase rather than decrease. Like if a consumer takes every unit of juice by 1 spoon of juice, then next unit of juice, that is next spoon of juice, will give him more satisfaction than the previous one. So in that case, this law is not working. Then product of hobby. The product the consumer is consuming, if that is the product of his hobby, related to his hobby, then next unit will bring him more satisfaction than dissatisfaction. Then product of addiction. Some product consumers can be very much attracted or addicted to, like coffee, cigarette, alcohol, this type of thing. When a consumers are addicted to that products, then more unit of products does not give him less satisfaction, moreover it gives him more satisfaction. Then let us see another point, that is demonstration effect. If more consumption gives him more uh, prestige in society, if the consumption of the unit gives him dignity or prestige in the society, if he wants to take it to show off, then more unit of production will not give him less satisfaction. That means demonstration effect is working here. The consumer is demonstrating his uh, status in the society. In that case, more unit of, suppose more unit of jewelry, more unit of car, more unit of flat gives him more satisfaction. Then emotional fascination, that is for some uh, services or goods, we have an emotional attachment or emotional fascination, like for any singer or for any for any singer's song, or for any writer's write-up, we may be very much fascinated. In that case, the more hearing of song or more reading of the write-up of that writer will not give us less satisfaction. Moreover, it will give us more satisfaction. So in this way, we can see that there are some limitations of this law, though this law is important to understand the natural behavior of the consumers. So that this is very important in the topic of utility. So hope you have understood this law. So, study is up to this. Thank you very much.